I know a lot of sales managers listening to this probably wouldn't like your answer, but I think time management is a very important skill set that everybody's trying to refine and get better at. So you've been able to build a company on the side. Like, how are you able to perform and actually do that?
The biggest word here is it depends. There's no perfect answer to this. Everyone is sort of in a different situation. So, generally speaking, one principle is you never go full time with your side hobby until you're making 2x the revenue that you are with your current hustle. Like, that's a good rule of thumb
Hmm.
because so many times people go all in on their side hustle and it sucks when, things don't go to plan. And guess what? It's not going to go to plan. But largely, how do you do both? You got to just understand time blocking, meaning most people, when they say they're working, they're not really working. They send like 3 emails in an hour and then they go get a coffee and they go to the bathroom. Like, they don't understand productivity. It's less about output and it's more about being intelligent with your time.
Hmm.
So I ask myself, what does this business owner need to see from me to recognize me as a top person working for this company? And how can I protect my future with the amount of work I'm doing? So if you're in a big team, you better be top three in that team before you're doing all these side hustles. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because here's the
Yeah.
thing. If you're bringing deals in, no one gives an F what you're doing on the side. And that should be the biggest realization for everyone. If you're doing your job and bringing money in, what you're getting paid for, no one cares. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But the people that stop performing and now aren't answering calls, it's on you, man. As my dad says, handle your shit, you know?
Look, it all comes down to revenue generating activities. Like you mentioned before, people get so caught up answering the phone, talking to a buddy, talking about dinner reservations or going out to lunch and taking a 2 hour lunch. And, it's all about actually putting in the proper work. And so for somebody that's looking to get into like enterprise sales, what are those revenue generating activities? And the reason why I asked that is because, I just transitioned from medical device sales into real estate. And now my world's completely different. I was driving an hour and a half, 2 hours to meet face to face with a doctor. And if I wasn't doing that, well, then I wasn't making any money. Now, if I'm not in front of my computer talking to people on LinkedIn, phone calls, doing Zooms, I'm not making money now. It's a completely different sales process. So, going back to enterprise sales, what are the revenue generating activities and how can somebody just time block and be successful?
Yeah, you want to kind of morph your world into it. So on LinkedIn, on Twitter, you want to like unfollow anyone that's not going to bring, you want to follow all of your customers, right? You want to see what they're doing so that every day you're getting the newest things in your feed and you're liking them and you're commenting on them and you're keeping in touch with people on a human level. So enterprise sales is actually quite simple because when people think about enterprise sales, what makes a really good sales reps are really project managers. They're not sales reps. They're
Hmm.
people that are able to bring all of the pieces, getting engineering involved, getting the technical involved, getting the NDA signed, going through all of that stuff. They're project managers. So think about building your enterprise sales business as project managing your entire stuff. All of this is going to take 7 to 10 to 15 touches before you potentially are going to get a sale. So
Okay.
you have to ask yourself, like, are you putting in those like every weekly, monthly touches? Because the customer might not be down to buy right now. They're probably going to be down in 3 quarters. But here's the difference between a good sales rep and a bad sales rep. A good sales rep touches base every month, just something small, like, how's your dog doing? Find out if they like their dog. Find something that makes me human because you're talking to someone on Zoom. Find something that attaches you to that person. And it takes work. Like, you have to get to know the person. Other sales reps will just call them in 9 months. Who are they going to work with? The person that's been talking with them for the last 9 months or for the person that's just hits them up like out of the blue,
Yeah.
So, and this is, people do business with people they like at the end of the day. And people do business with people they trust too. So if they can't trust that you're going to stay plugged in, like, how are they going to trust you with their business?
So the sales cycles are those are typically 2 to 4 quarters away, or from your initial point of contact, what is like the average sales cycle for enterprise sales?
For like mid market, a good situation would be 3 to 6 months. If it's a smaller tier, sometimes for startups, you can get them in under 3 months, especially if the product's built out. You can close those the same month.
Hmm.
But typical enterprise sales, you go through a month demo, you have to figure out success and evaluation criteria. Then you have to evangelize to all the C suite, and then you got to pull in the different companies and divisions, and they have to isolate to see which ones are going to be most hyper relevant. You don't want to bring in too much people because then it
So how
gets
do you do that?
complicated.
That's good. A lot of people get lost. I've worked with a lot of sales reps where they spend too much time with the influencer, and there's nothing like wrong with that as long as you're aware of the actual capabilities that person has on either influencing the decision or actually making the decision, which they typically don't.